should we go ahead and get started? Well, what do you think of our new venue here? We're going to make it work. And if it doesn't go well, the bar's right there. So Dom comes in at 11:30. So it'll be the perfect time. Now, thank you guys for, I know it's inconvenient to reschedule like this. I don't even want to get into the details really of why we're down here today. You probably wouldn't believe it if I told you. So, but we're going to make the best of it. I think we can make this work, and who knows, maybe it'll go so well you guys want to do it down here all the months in the future. So, if you could, just be mindful of the walkways. We do have a pretty clear path here in the middle. We also have a pretty clear path up this way. So, just be mindful of where you're walking and just pay attention. So, that said, let's go ahead and start the meeting. And I'm going to ask Eddie to come up and do the wave of kindness. They're both from Dining Services this month.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. So the month of January, we had 6 waves of kindness. So keep writing those, keep them coming. Can you hear me? Yes. All right. We had 6 waves of kindness, so keep writing them, keep them coming for next month. The first one goes to Mr. Charles Bishop.
Good morning. Good morning. Everybody doing?
And the one that we were reading about him is Mr. Charles is always so pleasant, always there to prepare our food so well. It's always a joy to see Charles working, smiling, and going the extra mile to see that you get what you want, and you're always appreciated. When he comes around and checks the tables and makes sure everything is all right, and we have that special occasion, our get-togethers, we are all blessed to have Charles being so willing to get it right.
Sure.
Thank you for being you, Mr. Charles.
Y'all make it easy. Trust me, y'all make it easy. I say, y'all make it easy. Thank y'all. I appreciate every one of y'all. I just want to let y'all know y'all make my job easy. I love it. Okay, time to go to work. I'll see y'all later. How y'all doing?
All right, and the second one's for Madison, who
Yes.
is running a little behind today. Madison deserves the wave of kindness for all her efforts with the resident parties and special requests. She spends a lot of time and it goes into great detail. At the time of the event, she goes outside of her regular job duties in dining to make sure the resident celebrations are the best ever. She is a good example of commitment and service. And we appreciate that.
Thank you, Eddie. We'll pull Madison up if she walks in.
She should be walking in.
Yeah. So we don't have a screen, so we're old-fashioned paper and pen today. I've got my notes to keep the meeting on track. So that concludes Wave of Kindness. Now we're going to move into the committees and club updates. So I don't have the screen to look at to remember them all. I'll go off the top of my head. Thank you, John. How about building and grounds first?
Morning. My name is Ed Teeter. I'm a member of the Building and Grounds Committee. I'm here because Royce Scott is out of the city, asked me to give a, can't hear it?
Here's the mic.
Maybe if I said I'm Royce Scott. Royce is out of the city today and asked me to give a brief report on some items that might be of interest to you from the Building and Grounds Committee. So without further ado, I'm going to get right into it. public restrooms. There are 2 items concerning the public restrooms. These are the 2 on each floor, and 3 floors, 6 of them. We've been working on a project to convert the switches from the motion detector timer switches back to manual switches. That is completed. Now that they're back to manual, we would ask your cooperation in remembering to turn off the switch as you leave. We've already started to encounter some problems with that, so if everybody would help out, that'd be appreciated. The second item concerns entry into the rooms. Some of the people with walkers have had a little difficulty getting those doors open because of the strong door closure mechanism. So a maintenance order has been issued to modify that, and that is in the mill, and I think they will be taken care of in the next few weeks. Hall lighting. That's another project that's been underway for some time. Some of the halls have been modified, but I don't think most of them have yet. We're awaiting timers so that we can get that project completed. What it will look like when we're finished is that at 11 p.m., the intensity of the lighting will be reduced until about 5 a.m., at which time it will come back up to the level that you're familiar with. Landscaping. Tim Gentis is working with the landscaper on a current basis to determine just what will be done with the various items, trees and shrubs and so forth for the coming year. Some will need to be replaced, some will need to be pruned, some will need to be trimmed up. That is still a work in progress. Hopefully, when we have our March meeting, we'll be able to give you more details. Sauna, still a work in progress. As most of you probably will remember, the parts were ordered and shipped some time ago. Some of the parts arrived in a broken state and had to be reordered. Unfortunately, they haven't come in yet, and so we're waiting for those parts to come in, and when they do, progress will begin on the sauna. The last item I have is kind of an FYI item. Neighborhoods 5 and 6 recently had a meeting with a member of the fire department who discussed various things that we might want to take into account should we have a fire at this location. I bring it up because those of you in the other neighborhoods may want to repeat what we did. I'm not sure who made the appointment, whether it was John Lewis or whether it was Rod Harris, but whoever did it, we wound up with a fine representative of the fire department who answered many questions and gave us some good tips. Unless there's some questions, that'll be it from Building and Grounds today. Thank you.
Oh, there she is. Thank you, Ed, for that report.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it. You guys have all been super, super nice while we're doing changes and we're doing the best we can, okay? So thank you again.
Yeah, the fire presentation, I've heard a lot of positive feedback on that. If you haven't had a chance to go back and watch it, it did get recorded. I watched it yesterday and agree, it was a lot of good information shared. And I'm also going to make a plug for the meeting that we're having on March 5th, where we'll talk about fire safety for Mason Pointe. We'll cover some of probably the same things that were in that video, but then also some additional information too. So we'll do that on March 5th, hopefully in the multi-purpose room. Next, how about food committee? Terry and Eddie.
Yes. Hello. I'm Terry McCarthy. I'm the current chair of the food committee. Closer? Okay. And I would first like to give a round of applause for If it's in my, it'll be in my mouth in a minute. To Barb Quigley and Sue Jackson, who served in the capacity of chair and secretary for 3.5 years. In no way can I follow in their shoes without a lot of stumbling. So please be patient with me. Would also like to introduce some new members of the Food Committee. Bev Dillner. I don't know who else is here. Some went on an outing because they didn't know about the meeting. Francis is not here. Barbara Sheeler. She's over there. Sheeler. Barbara, could you stand up or wave or something? Okay, thank you. Frances Becker is not, she went on an outing. Pat Seiler. Okay, and Velma Rohan. Where are you, Velma? Ah, there you are. Okay, thanks. Just a couple of things. Eddie's here to answer questions because I've been gone for most of the month of February, so he's here to help with the questions. And I'm here to support him, he's here to support me. That's our roles. Also, something was brought up that we're looking into and hope to implement, which is an open table in the dining room 40 West for singles. And one of the reasons is sometimes the singles are not always welcome at some of the other tables. So this would be a table that will be open for people who are singles. And it will be a standing table. And so if you have any comments or questions about that, please approach your food committee member. We thought it was a good idea, and it is in process, and so it will be happening sometime soon. The other thing is, I can hear this thumping in the microphone. The other thing is that the new menu is still in process. It's very complicated to do a new menu because not only do they have to do sourcing and pricing and so on, it is still in process. It will be available probably sometime this spring, right? Okay. I'd also like to compliment Eddie on how the opening of the new restaurant in assisted living went, because it was fabulous. I was there and able to assist some of the people to come and eat, as were some other volunteers. And everybody was happy with the food. It moved it flowed well. Everything was terrific. And it's a lovely venue for which people on our independent living will eventually be able to eat there, but not currently, not right away. They're still setting up, and they're still working on getting things perfect. So, any other issues or questions?
All right, I have one more thing Michelle wanted me to talk about, and it's the mobility devices. So I know a lot of people use mobility devices and they like to sit them next to their table. Well, we'll have the servers start moving them so we can get around, so we can move around freely and make sure everyone can get around safely. If you're in a chair or something and you want to stay in it, then we'll just pull the chair at the table. But if not, just be nice to your server when they take your device. They'll set it outside and they'll get it back for you when you're ready to leave. Any questions about that?
Also, they will be doing, they're going to open a coat rack, which we might not need during the warmer months, but we do need during the winter, and guests sometimes have coats and or raincoats. So we will get a coat rack so that people can have a place to put their coat. We will not have a hat check person or a coat check person, but we will have a place for them to put it. Any other questions?
Any questions?
so table for singles, but they don't get a chair. So it's a standing table.
That was good. Very good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, who's the next committee? Lifestyle Enrichment. How about we go there next?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay with the mic like this? Thank you. Last week, we had our trip. Doesn't feel like I'm being heard, but last week, this trip to the Second Presbyterian Church was a resounding success. Mary and I both heard wonderful comments about it, the church itself with the Tiffany windows, the organ music, and then, of course, a yummy lunch. So that brings me to something we have not yet done, because there have been some requests from others that we'd like to go again. And I'd like to ask, if you did not go on the first trip and you think you would like to go, to give us an idea, would you just give us a quick show of hands so we'd know? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. We probably have a bus full then, so maybe before we go back and ask Spencer Smith and my friend Margie, I just kind of wanted to be sure we would probably have enough. So that'll be hopefully in the works. I also hope that you were able to be present when Len Campanaro spoke about elephants. That was a wonderful program from a man who has accumulated so much knowledge. And perhaps we will have him back speaking on other animals. Unfortunately, our pink sheet did not include notice of someone I'm very excited to hear about. Coming on Monday, we have Dr. Candace O'Connor, who has done a lot of research on St. Louis history and particularly is coming to speak about her book on Homer G. Phillips Hospital. Most of us who've lived and grown up here in St. Louis are acquainted with that hospital, and there's a lot of material that she'll tell us about. She's authored, I think, 13 books and many publications, so we're very fortunate to have Dr. O'Connor coming at 3 o'clock on Monday. It's a busy week because then at 3 o'clock on Wednesday next week, we have another outstanding speaker coming. Dr. Ken Pokorny is professor and chair of the Division of Computing at McKendree University, and he will share his PhD research on artificial intelligence with us, including the design of United States Navy ships. So this is a very learned man. We are very honored to have him coming Wednesday. March 12th, we have Missouri Conservation Department program at 11. Cardinal Hall of Fame outing, March 22nd. March 27th, we have a bagpiper coming. And then last but not least, we've worked a little bit on getting our Illustrate the Music program up and running. We're kind of seeing how that's going to go this year. And I will say nothing further at this time except thank you to my dear friend Mary, who does so much.
Thank you, Vi. It's a shared experience. Yes, did everybody get the pink sheet of the activities? Okay. Just to remind you how this works when we plan events, we have our neighborhood meetings, and that's the best opportunity for you all to tell your representative of anything you would like to see us do with our enrichment program. Then we have a meeting of all the enrichment committee representatives every month, and that's how things get scheduled and put on the schedule. So, if anybody got any questions about that, how that procedure works? Okay, so if you got the March activity sheet, and Vi kind of went over a lot of the dates, you know kind of what we're doing. The staff who we work with takes into account the survey and also the suggestions. So that's how But that doesn't mean you can't give us an idea if you see us in between time. Casey is the one who gave us the idea about the speaker for artificial intelligence. Probably most of you, or all of you, hopefully got the flyer on the eclipse. Okay, sign up for that is March 8th. That's a trip to Cape Girardeau. The eclipse is on April 8th. The sign up is March 8th. March 31st, we have an Easter bunny that's coming. So I know you all want to have your picture with the Easter bunny. And so he'll be here from 10:30 to 12. So you can have your picture taken. Just want to remind everybody that Gus will not be here tonight. He is on vacation. Denise Disper is not here today. She's on the trip to the Art Museum. But she wanted me to announce that there are 2 seats still available on the bus that's going to stage us next year for the different performances. So if you want to catch one of those seats, just see Denise or call her. The program next year is the Steel Magnolias in June. Disney Newsies is next, and Ragtime is the 3rd one. So you have plenty of time to get your tickets, I think till June. So I know a couple of you have indicated interest that you'd like to do that. So also we are again looking at the Sheldon Theater program for next year. Anybody have any questions or suggestions? We will be happy to take them. Okay, thank you.
Employee appreciation.
My name is Casey Keel, and so first we would like to thank Carol Teeter, who served as the chairman of the Mason Pointe Resident Employee Appreciation Fund these past years. So, Second, thanks to everyone here who has contributed to the REA Fund this past year. This year we are going to have another Easter Meal Mania, where we give Mason Pointe staff bags of food items to make their Easter meal a little more special. In 2022, we provided 50 bags of food. In 2023, we provided 60 bags of food. We would like to contribute to making our staff happy. Many of us who have been married a long time, in my case, know that happy wife makes happy life. I think you would agree with that. So I would like to think that happy staff helps make happy residents. I think you would agree with that. If you are interested in supporting this effort, there are flyers at the mailroom, at the coffee pot at each floor, and also the first and third middle elevators, which explain how you can support this effort. I'm sure you've all seen it. The flyer looks like that. And basically, you just write a check to MPREA Fund, or you can donate non-perishable food items. These monetary RE donations are tax deductible, and you get a letter from Mason Pointe at the end of the year showing the amount. And if you make them from your IRA, you do not pay tax on the amount paid. The deadline for this is March 22nd, so there will not be another MPCA meeting between now and then. So if you're going to give, please do it now, so you will not forget and the deadline will pass. Any questions? Because we have Becky Zimmer here, the expert, who can provide any explanation of any questions you might have. Any questions, anyone? Okay.
How about the Wellness Committee? Do we have a report from that group today?
Thank you. Can you hear me? Okay, my disclaimer to start with is I screwed up my ears last week. So if you're trying to, if it doesn't make sense, let me know. But oh, wait a minute. Okay. We'll delay the Wellness Committee report, and but we have a special guest, and I would like my friend Senator Andrew Koenig to come forward. Andrew and I have known each other since maybe '08. We went in the State House together, and we were fortunate with the recent redrawing for him to become our senator. And so his term as senator will be expiring, but hopefully we have great plans for him moving forward, which we won't talk about today, but maybe at another time. And so he is a great help to us in Town and Country, and we know that he's there to give us all the support from Town and Country, and he has other municipalities too. But Andrew has a lovely wife and a bunch of kids, and he is I'm proud that he's our senator. So here's Andrew Koenig.
Hello, it's good to be here. I'm Senator Andrew Koenig. Actually, my grandma lived here for a few years before she died, so I've definitely been here many, many times. I'm serving, this is my 8th year in the Senate. I served with Sue Allen. We came into the House together, and so I've known her for a long time. I have 5 kids. 2 of them we adopted through foster care, so obviously family is extremely important to me. Actually, when we did foster care, we've taken care of as many as about around 16 kids through the foster care system. When my wife and kids travel with me to Jefferson City, and so when I just started running for the Senate, and my wife got a call that there was twin babies that were abandoned at the hospital. So, and we actually weren't taking kids when we were traveling to and from Jefferson City, and so I was like, oh man, twins? That's going to be a lot of work. I called the caseworker, and I told the caseworker, yeah, we'll take them for a few months. And then a year and a half later, I had my election was coming up, and we had court on the same week that we had the election. And the judge said, go ahead and pack our caseworker said, go ahead and pack their bags. The dad's probably going to take them home. And so we did that. The judge wanted the dad to do an overnight stay first. Long story short, they ended up never leaving our house. The dad ended up shooting his brother and went to jail. Oh. And so we were very, very fortunate that they never had to be traumatized by going back into the system, and they never left they came into our home at 10 days old, so they've never left our home. I actually go to church, West County Assembly of God, just kind of across the street, right over there. We've been going there for about 16 years. So, yeah, the 15th Senate District, just for your information, it's Chesterfield, Wildwood, Town and Country. It used to take in Kirkwood, Sunset Hills, but with redistricting, it doesn't take in that area anymore. So it's roughly just under 200,000 people. There's 34 Senate seats in Missouri, 163 House districts. Missouri has a very large House, very small Senate, and so that's kind of a little bit the legislative process. Throughout the legislative process, anybody can, there's a number of people that can stop any legislation. So it has to pass the House and the Senate. You have the chairman of any committee can just kill any bill. The Speaker of the House, Pro Tem of the Senate, can kill the bill, and obviously the governor can veto it. So passing bills are definitely a challenge, which I believe is a good thing. So that way, our laws don't change too much from year to year because people have to rely on the laws. So I'm happy to take questions.
Any questions that don't get him into the issues?
Anything about the legislative process? Or?
No. Well, thank you, Andrew, for coming. It's nice to meet you, our current senator representative. Thank you. All Let's see, how about the welcoming club? Anything, Mary?
We've really not had any new residents moving in, but probably next month we will. If anybody has any questions or ideas, suggestions, please let me know.
Thank you, Mary. We've got a lot of apartments that are currently in turn right now, and so we'll probably have a lot of new faces to meet here over the next, I'd say, 3 months. So we've got a lot of planned move-ins. We'll go back to wellness now.
Okay, thank you. For Wellness Committee, we actually focus on physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So many of our discussions go into areas that some might think that go beyond, but we cover all those topics. And so some of the upcoming activities that the caregiver support group will go to the zoo in the next week. The Parkinson's group will meet and go over to the new beautiful assisted living gym. And so those are the most immediate. And we're going to, well, I'm not giving the dates and the times because you have that information in your in the colored sheet coming up. We have March Madness coming up with John Bruno, the activities back there, and we will have square dancing in the next, I guess not, maybe a week after next, and that will be in the round room. We have a speaker coming from Missouri Department of Conservation, and we're going to have an opportunity that's very unusual to deal with more than one group of cicadas coming forth. So it could be a big deal. Some people are excited in a good way, and some people are excited in a fearful way. And then we'll have effective communication strategies, and that will be someone from the Alzheimer's Association. And then we have a Time to Relax discussion group with Phyllis Spears. I know those groups are growing, and that's great to see. I just gave some information out to the caregiver support, so I'm going to ad-lib a bit. I've been on the board with Memory Care Home Solutions for a number of years, and so caregiver support is a local organization that provides direct services and support for individuals of families with cognitive impairment. And fortunately, we have initiative that is coming through the state of Missouri, and Memory Care is working with the Alzheimer's Association, and there will be $2,500 a year money to provide families who require outside support. So currently individuals spend their own money, and this is finally some state support dollars coming for caregiver support. So Memory Care is partnering with Alzheimer's Association, and so you can get more information through Beth or me, not today, or not at this meeting, but at a later time. Also, the feds are working to bring more caregiver awareness and financial support. This is through Medicare, and that will be a program is called Guide. And our application goes in, when I say our, that's Memory Care. Our application goes in April, and Memory Care Home Solutions is a national leader with this. So we will be hoping to get more financial support for families of individuals that are caring with their individual with any kind of cognitive impairment in the home. The metrics are there, health outcomes are there. It's very important. So Beth has, she will be able to make referrals for memory care and also for any kind of physical therapy support that any of you might need. And I think that covers it. All right, thank you. Any questions? No, okay, thanks.
All right, anything from the Hook and Needle Club today?
We hope you know where we're located. We'd like to see some more people come. We have a shop, you can go shopping, but you can also come and learn how to crochet or knit. We've had several, even including a couple sisters from across the way come over and learn how to crochet. So keep that in mind too. But Easter's coming, and we've been invaded with a few little animal menageries here. So. Okay, well, I was first going to show you a basket here. We have a basket that you can buy and fill it with an animal or whatever, a duck. So we have an elephant. There's an elephant in the shop. But we have Easter bunnies. They sell for $15. And a duck is $15. We have a little sheep here, and another bunny, furry bunny, and a sock monkey, and a puppy dog. So maybe you're interested in something for your grands or great grands. So stop by. The shop is open at 2 o'clock today. But I also want to mention Mary and Carol Teeter and other ladies. I know, I think Ann Spoor have helped. They've been busy making clothing protectors for the care center. And I know they've done at least 35 of them already, so we need to give them credit too. So I guess that's all I really have. Any questions? Just come and see us, 2 o'clock. Okay.
I think we need like a Hook and Needle TV show. I think she's got the voice for it too. Can't you see it? You know? Thank you, ladies. Let's see, Veterans Club. Hank, anything to mention today?
Just very quickly, our next leaders meeting is Monday, this coming Monday, and all Mason Pointe residents are always invited. And next Monday, we will hear from Air Force veteran and Mason Pointe chaplain, David Corson. So hope to see some of you there, maybe all of you. Thank you.
All right, are there any other clubs or committees that have reports today that I've missed? I know we didn't go through all the clubs, but most don't normally have an update. All right, so we've got about 20 minutes left. I've got just a few things that I'm going to cover pretty quickly. It's a pretty light agenda today, and then we'll just open it up. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll open it up to questions and answers after that. So the first thing that I want to mention is the door downstairs, the apartment entrance door. We spent a lot of time on it previous months. I will say the use of the entry system that we have for your visitors has gone much better. Several of you have made time to work with Michelle and fix, incorrect phone numbers, all those sorts of things that have been causing us problems. One of the things that's been discussed in the past is It's hit or miss whether or not when you go down there, whether or not Michelle is going to be at the desk. And so one thing I wanted to make sure that residents understood is that we ask Michelle to do a lot of different things that will require her to leave the desk. Okay, and so it's not that Michelle doesn't want to be down there, it's because she's doing what she's been asked to do. And with that, I've heard concerns when she walks away, then that leaves that door, with nobody there, and that's an understandable concern. And so what we're going to do is, starting next Monday, we're going to actually put that door on 24-hour badge entrance only, okay? So that's the same as what we do on the weekends now. Michelle will have, when she's down there, she can assist if there is an issue down there, but that was the way that was initially intended to go. And so now that we've seemed to have gotten more comfortable using that system, we think it's safer just to do that 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Okay. Are there any questions or comments about that? That will start next Monday. And we will send out a written notice also to residents so that they know that that's happening. Terry?
Will they be able to get in with packages?
The question was, will they be able to get in with packages? And I assume you're talking about delivery drivers. Yes. We'll have, we've got signage down there now. I can't vouch for every single delivery driver that's going to show up, that they're going to read it and follow the instructions. But yes, there's a method for them to get in. Nita?
Will this door also be locked?
This door here will, there's no changes to the door hours here. And that is because dining services is open while that door is unlocked. Any other comments or questions? So that would be something worth mentioning to anybody that you have coming to visit you on site. If you haven't had a chance to do it, I think it's a good idea to get with Michelle and make sure that you've got the correct number in the system. She's welcome to practice with you and just make it easy for you. So hopefully you all feel like that's a safer setup than how it's been. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I wanted to touch on is there's been questions about our future residency program and access to the various amenities that we have. And so I did want to clarify for all of you that for anybody that signs up for a future residency program, that does give them access to come into the community, use the pool, use the workout facility, join some of the activities. We offer them meals on a certain cadence. I can't remember how often we're doing that now, but that's a standard for LSS across the organization. All of our communities do that for our future residents. Those of you that moved in after the initial open, you know that was available to you as well. And so I've been getting a few questions about that and wanted to take a minute just to cover it. Is there any questions about what I just said or comments? Hazel?
Okay, do the future residents, do they get a swiper like we get into the garage or come in that door when it's locked or the independent living when it's locked? They get a swiper?
Yes, in some cases we will do that the same way we would provide that to like your family members.
You don't provide it. I bought one for my son and my daughter just in case I fell, whatever.
Well, I didn't mean pay for, but just physically give it out to
How
them.
many have you got on the waiting list to get into this independent living?
So the question is, how many are on the waiting list? We've got over 180 names.
So you're going to give that many people, if they have two, 180, if 2 people are coming in, so that's double that. You're going to give them all a swiper to come into this building and use the pool and anything else?
No, so it's not really as black and white as that, and I would want to caution everybody from thinking that all of a sudden 180 future residents are going to be using the building and then you're not going to be able to use the pool. I wouldn't go there. This isn't an issue. We have, I think, 1 or 2 people on out of that 180 that actually take advantage of this on a regular basis, and that's pretty typical. across other communities too. It could become an issue that we have to manage, but it's really not at that point.
So this is done with all LLS homes in Illinois and Missouri?
Yes, that's the same practice that we have at every community with Lutheran Senior Services in Missouri and Illinois. And so when we give a badge to someone, for instance, that might use the pool, they would have gone through the same orientation that you all would have before your badge is activated to go into that area. Are there any other comments or questions? What was that?
I said some of us don't like that.
No, I don't.
Yeah, no, I'll make sure to share it. That's not a decision I make, but I'll share the feedback.
Yeah, because, you know, if you've got a 2-year waiting period for these 180 people, you know, there's a lot of wear and tear on this building. A lot of wear and tear on everything you're doing when they're coming in, when they're going out. They can come in anytime, like 7 o'clock in the morning when they want to go to the pool and swim.
Yes. Yep. So I'll repeat some of that. If we give it to a future resident, access to the building, the pool, for instance, it'd be the same access that you all have. That you could swim 24 hours a day. It's kind of swim at your own risk. We prefer you swim with a partner, but we don't require it. Marie?
So basically, someone can have this access, get free use of all the facilities, and 2 years later decide, I don't want to move there. And so they've had 2 years to get all these freebies.
So Marie's comment was, so someone could, for 2 years, have access to all the amenities and then decide not to move in and get a refund to where they've had free access. That's correct, Marie. And that's the same across all of Lutheran Senior Services. That's not typically, we don't typically have people coming in here to take advantage of our FRP program. It's a very small number of people actually that take advantage of what we offer. Like I said, we've got over 180, and I don't know if Kelly's out here, but I think we've got, I'd say 7 or fewer of that 180 that we actually see on a regular basis.
I worked at Meridian Village before here, and we had a list of about 100 people on the wait list, maybe 120, and we only had about the same amount for the 7 years that I worked there. So to Drew's point, it never became overly used anyway.
What did they put down, $1,000, and then they have this ability to come in?
It's $1,500 now. It used to be $1,000. The question was how much it is to be a future resident. But again, I want to caution the group not to, this is not an issue that you really should concern yourself with. And I assure you that if it gets to a point where you're not able to join a fitness class that you want to join because a future resident is taking your spot, we wouldn't allow that to happen. You all still have the priority. That we're talking about a very small number of people. Okay, so the next thing, if you didn't get a chance, hopefully everybody should have received the recycling write-up. I think there was a lot of clear information in that document, so I just encourage you to look that over if you plan to participate in the recycling program. If you were unable to join the open forum, that was, I think, really good discussion too, where we worked out, clarified a number of questions that people had. We hope to do the same thing at the March 5th Fire Safety Open Forum. We hope to be able to just answer any questions that are out there and provide clear information about fire safety for residents and independent living. So, with that said, I just wanted to mention those things. I'm going to open it up to questions and answers. John?
Can you give us a brief summary of the status of the opening of the assisted living, the number of people from independent that are moving over there, and the fulfilling of the apartments that become empty here?
So John's question is asking for a status update of the project, asking about people moving from independent living through to assisted living and filling those apartments once they become available. So I think I can address all those. The status of the project, we've opened phase 1. We have officially closed down what was our original assisted living here. That is our planned future site for independent living. There is no update to the lawsuit. We've mentioned in the past that we've got a court date this summer. There really hasn't been any movement or updates to mention with you all, so that's ongoing. LSS continues to just study other options that could be available to expand independent living here. As I've said in the past, we're committed to doing that. So that's the update for the project. Our skilled nursing.
How many assisted living apartments are being occupied that were renovated? How many new move-ins do we have?
Our skilled nursing will be completed in late April this year, and so that'll kick off another round of moves. And then we've got one more phase of construction behind that, doing the assisted living memory care, and then an additional assisted living neighborhood. The number of assisted living apartments that we have now is somewhere around 55. They are largely spoken for. We have a very small, maybe one unit that's available. I'm not going to get into specifics of residents moving from the various levels within our community, but of course, you all have friends and you see what's happening, and there is a lot of transition right now in our community. That's what I'll say. And the apartments that every apartment that's been turned over to us has a name on it. I think it's fair to say. And there's also some internal movement that's happening too. So residents moving from one place in independent living to another. So yeah, there's a lot of interest in our community, both for independent living. There's still interest to try and go directly into assisted living and skilled nursing as well from people that don't live here. So does that answer it, John?
Yes, thank you.
Good. What other questions are out there? What do you want to talk about? Got 7 minutes. Oh, lots of hands over here.
You said that people from outside Mason Pointe can come in and use AL. I thought that was directly supposed to be for IL.
I was just simply saying we get a lot of inquiries. We don't have really an ability to accommodate people right now, but there's lots of interest there in the community for Mason Pointe. Was there another question over here? There was like 5 hands. Or you guys were all just for trying to get attention for Bill? All right, if nobody has, what do you guys think of the venue? We like it upstairs or down here better? Upstairs, okay. All right, just making sure. Okay. All right, well, I guess that's it for the meeting today. I appreciate you guys coming. Be careful leaving. If you could, push your chairs back under the tables. So, thank you guys.